Hello, everybody. Please forgive me for being late. I'm so sorry. We had the opening day at the Kennesaw location today. We had a great day, and we had class tonight, and then we had to close out, and it was busy and great, and I raced home. So I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late. Please forgive me. Hey, Jane. And I see that I've got Dale and Dora and Jane and Michelle and Maria and Missy and Nikki and Eric on here, and 1+7 Pro, whoever that might be. So thank you all for joining me. Please, again, forgive me for being late. Okay, we talked last night about the program. We did the program overview last night. And so I'm going to share my screen with you tonight, and we're going to talk about some simple food combining. Hey, Michelle, thank you for telling me hello. When you guys chat in the chat feature, make sure that you set your chat to all panelists and attendees, okay? That way everybody can see what you are typing in. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to pull up the Fast Track. Can everybody see this? If you're in the Zoom room, it looks like you should be able to see that. So that's awesome. Thank you, Jane. Okay, so what we're going to talk about tonight is, last night we went over the program overview. We went over the 7 categories of food that you need to learn so that you can combine foods in the right way. Part of doing this is learning what foods go in what categories. So I highly suggest that you write down the foods that you like. Write down the foods that you eat on a regular basis. Then look those up in the food library. Once you look those up in the food library, you can write down on a piece of paper next to the foods that you like what category that is. Then you'll know, based on the combining chart or the rules, how to combine that together. And then maybe you have something already in your pantry or in your fridge. Well, look those things up in the food library. If they're already in the food library, then that's great. You can still use them. If they're not in your food library, you can just give them away or save them for a holiday. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some short lists of some things that are considered the in each category, okay? So, because sometimes people, the hardest part is figuring out what's in a lean protein category, what's in a fibrous carb category. Now, so we're going to go over some of those things today, but this is in no way an exhaustive list. It is not exhaustive. This is small, because in the beginning, you want to keep it small, keep it simple, okay? Just get a few good weeks under your belt, and as you continue to learn and grow in this lifestyle, you will be able to branch out and you will add additional lean proteins to your food list that you like to eat. So what I'm going to do each time we have a new category or a new list is I am going to read that list, just because it helps to start to hear what foods are in which categories. But I'm not going to reread the same lists over and over. Whenever we come to a new list, I will read it out loud. Okay, so we have category 1 is a lean protein. You can have about 2 to 8 ounces of that. Now remember, you don't really even have to measure. You just use your 2-hand rule. You put your hands together as closely as possible and put them down over your food. And and then like a piece of chicken would just be under this hand. But if you want to measure and you are interested in looking at that, then you can have 2 to 8 ounces. That's what that is for. So egg whites are, and I said that like it was just a piece of chicken that you might be measuring, but you could be measuring anything. So egg whites, all fish is in a category 1, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil, low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew national, excuse me, 97% lean beef frank, 1 link of that, and then 96% lean ground meat. So then you're going to see that we have a flame here with a plus sign. Well, first of all, let me make you know there is no math in Shibboleth. You don't have to worry about doing any math in Shibboleth just because there's a plus sign. Basically, that just means that you're putting these together, okay? But the flame does mean that it is excellent for fat burning. So some of the oils that you can use are, and you could use 1 tablespoon would be your amount, 100% MCT oil, coconut oil. See, coconut oil is 60% MCTs. Ghee butter. See, ghee butter is a clarified butter. Once that butter has been clarified, there's more MCTs in it. Hemp oil or 0-calorie cooking spray. So you would utilize all of that. Now, I personally like the MCT oil from our store, the Zero Drag brand. The reason I like that brand is there's 100 calories per tablespoon, whereas the other brands of MCT that I've looked at that are 100% MCT have 130 calories. Ours has been maximized for cooking, so I'm not sure if that process of being maximized for cooking took away some of the calories or what, I don't know. But if it were me and I was just starting in Shibboleth, I would order the Zero Drag brand sold at the Shibboleth store. So that's what I would use for it. But you can use these other things. Now, this is a flame and a plus sign here, and you can add some condiments to your food. I'm going to tell you the rule for condiments because you could spend all day long looking up different condiments in the food library, and they might not be there, but we have a rule about condiments. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. As you're going to look, anything can be used as a condiment if it has 5 grams of sugar or less per serving, 2 grams of fat or less per serving, and you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it. So we are going to make sure that we're using the 5, 2, and few rule. So in the food library on the Shibboleth website, there are lots of condiments listed. But let's say that you don't see the item you want in there and you turn the nutrition label over, that is what you're going to look for. You're going to look for 5 grams of sugar or less per serving, 2 grams of fat or less per serving, and as long as you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it, you can use that as a condiment. Keep in mind, if you are using multiple condiments on your meal, they need to meet the rule, and then together combined, they should not be more than 50 calories. So let's say that you use a 30-calorie slice of cheese, and let's say you want to use some ketchup. Well, you're not going to want to use more than 20 calories of ketchup, whatever that might be, because you don't want to go over 50 calories, okay? But let's read over some of these calories that are listed here. Obviously, you can use any 0-calorie condiment. 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo. And that is just a really, really small list. But what this is saying is that you can eat a category 1 lean protein by itself, cook it up in the right oil. One of the reasons that MCT oil is suggested is because it is thermogenic and it helps you burn a little extra calories. But what I don't want you to hear me say is that it's so good for you that you should take it as a supplement, because we don't want to just take random calories in each day. So you use it for the purpose of cooking, not just taking it as calories and not as bulletproof coffee or anything like that. And then you can doctor this up with some condiments and you have an excellent meal. Now we're going to scroll down just a little bit more. Hey, Belinda. I see Belinda said good afternoon on the chat. Thank you. In Zoom. I haven't looked at the Facebook yet to see if anybody's on there. What this is showing you is that you can eat category 7 by itself. Again, this is a shellfish. Now keep in mind that category 7 shellfish is really just a category 1 lean protein, but because it was pulled off, it was pulled off, but due to medical reasons, people don't want to eat it, and sometimes biblical reasons, people don't want to eat shellfish. So therefore, it was just kind of pulled off. And so when you are looking at your advanced combination chart or your combination chart, you can just ignore any combination with a 7 in it if you don't eat shellfish. But here are some examples of shellfish: crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, clams. So you could have all of those. And then again, you've got your plus sign and your flame. You've got your cooking oils there. A lot of times somebody might do shrimp with ghee butter because you can make a shrimp scampi on it, okay? Then you doctor it up with your condiments and you have an excellent fat burning meal, a category 7 all by itself. Now we're going to scroll up one more and then you'll notice we've already read the category 1 lean proteins. We've already read these oils and these condiments. The new column here is hemp products. You can use hemp hearts, hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes, hemp protein powder, and hemp oil. Now, hemp hearts are a category 6 superfood, which you can eat a category 6 superfood with a category 1 lean protein. Hemp flakes are considered a category 1 and a category 2 together. So they are a lean protein and a fibrous carb together. And obviously you can have that with a category 1. Now, when people ask what's the difference in a hemp heart and a hemp flake? Well, the thing is, one is better for wellness and one is better for weight loss if you're actually being that close on the line, okay? If you want to know which one is better for weight loss, you're going to do hemp flakes because hemp flakes are better for weight loss. But hemp hearts are better for general wellness. So what I would do is I would do hemp flakes while I was in weight loss. And then once you get to that general wellness, you may want to do some hemp hearts as well. You can still do hemp hearts in weight loss. It's all going to be great. But if you are just wanting to know a little bit more about them, I thought I would add that in tonight. So let's scroll down again. Now, this one, we've already read all of these things. What this is saying is that you can do a category 7 shellfish with your hemp products, cooked in the right oil, and throw on some condiments, and you can have a great meal. I know that Travis likes to do some shrimp scampi cooked with ghee butter and put some hemp flakes on there. He really likes that meal. I've seen pictures of it on Facebook. Now we're going to scroll up again, and then I'm going to read this column. So this is your category 2 fibrous carbs column. You can have half a cup up to 1 cup. So it's better probably in a weight loss to have half a cup, and you could go up to 1 cup once you get into maintenance. But let's read these. Broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, and dill pickles. So all of those are category 2 fibrous carbs. And they're great for you. They're great to eat. They help keep you all nice and cleaned out because of the fiber. Now, I'm going to mention something here, but we're going to get to it a little bit later. In Shibboleth, we have over 60 approved bread or bread type items in the category 2 column. And it is a blessing that we've got breads and wraps and all kinds of things in there. And we're going to go over those in just a second. But the reason that those breads and wraps and things ended up in a category 2 is because they have enough fiber in them to qualify. And they break down in your body more like a green bean does than an actual bread. So that's how it ended up in this category. But obviously, less bread is best, and these are the better category 2 fibrous carbs. But the others can be used. We've done everything possible to make this program practical, sustainable, and fun. We do not exclude any macronutrients, and we teach you how to have everything on Shibboleth. You might just have to switch over a product, and you need to combine the foods in the right way. Let's scroll down just a little bit more. And this one, we've already read all of these items. What this is showing you is that you can have a category 7 with a category 2, cooked in the right oil with some condiments, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. Travis says that a category 1, lean protein, and a category 2, fibrous carb, cooked in MCT oil is the fastest fat burning meal. That also means that a category 7 with a category 2, cooked in MCT oil, is also an excellent fat burning meal. So those are your highest quality fat burning meals. Those are what you might want to get started off if you're just getting started. But those are not necessarily what we consider the lifestyle column. And we're going to get to some more examples of that in a minute. So this next one that we're looking at some superfoods. And I'm not going to read these condiments because we've already gone over that. But if you'll notice that this plus sign is just a plus sign. There's no flame behind it. This is great for fat burning, but it's not quite as excellent as these because they have the flames. So a category 6 superfood would be pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds. Now, obviously, that's just a really small list. And there are some other beans that end up in there, like garbanzo beans. Most of our lighter colored beans are a category 3, but there are some like the Great Northern Bean and then garbanzo beans that are in there. But what you have to do is write down the ones that you like, look up in the food library to see what they qualify as, and then you mark it down. Now, this category 6 superfood, oops, what was I going to say? I don't know, lost my train of thought. But it can be eaten by itself. So 1 cup up to 1.5 cups. Now this right here is showing, oh, I know what I was going to say. That category 6 superfood, how an item ends up in the category 6 superfood column is that it has all the macronutrients in it. So it's got protein in it, it's got carbs in it, it's got fat in it, and it has water in it. So if it has all of the macronutrients in it, then it ends up in the category 6 superfood category. So you can eat superfood with a category 2 fibrous carb, 1/2 cup up to 1 cup. And then you can doctor it up with your condiments and have a great meal. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit more, and we're going to look at a category 4. This is new. We haven't read this yet. So a category 4 is a protein plus fat. Do you know that fat is not necessarily a bad word? There are good fats, and we need fats. Our brain needs fats. There's different things in our body that needs fats. We just don't need to eat the wrong fats or overeat fats, okay? And so a protein plus fat is a category 4. We can have 2 to 6 ounces of that. And if you'll notice, the ounces went down from what we can have with the lean proteins and the shellfish. That's 2 to 8 ounces. This is 2 to 6 ounces. The reason being, protein has 4 calories per ounce in it. And I mean, per gram, sorry. And then, but a protein plus fat has 9 calories per gram in it. So that is why we have to eat a little bit less of the protein plus fat than the protein, just because there are more calories in that. So we would just bring those ounces down just a little bit. So some of the items that are included in this are whole eggs, steak, pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa that is 50% or less calories from fat. You can add that with your category 2 fibrous carb, put some condiments on it, and have a perfectly combined meal. Okay, so this category 4 can actually be eaten by itself if you needed to in a pinch. I always say in a pinch, but optimally you would eat it with your category 2 fibrous carb. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. And this right here is the column that we haven't read yet. We've read the list of lean proteins. We've read the list of category 2 fibrous carbs, and we've read the list of condiments. Now I'm going to read over this list of category 3 energy carbs. White potato, sweet potato, actually all potatoes, oatmeal, weight control oatmeal, which I think is now called fiber and protein oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, and whole grain pasta. All of those things are in the category 3. You could do in weight loss 1/4 of a cup. I would not go up to 1/2 cup in weight loss. I would stick with a 1/2 cup for when I've gotten to my weight maintenance, but 1/4 of a cup in weight loss. So let's say that you want to eat some lima beans. You're going to do about 1/4 cup of lima beans. I always just kind of say it fills up this space right here. And then, but if you want to eat some lima beans or anything from the category 3 fibrous carb category, you must pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. It must be paired together. If you don't do it together, it's called a holiday, okay? It's called a holiday if you don't do it together. And here's why. Because you eating these little, I'm going to use the example of lima beans. You eat the lima beans, a little bit of an insulin release is going to come, okay? It's just going to come. But you didn't overeat it, so therefore not a lot of insulin needed to come out. But you are pairing it with a lean protein, and you're allowing the protein in that lean protein, and you're pairing it with a fibrous carb, and you're allowing the fiber in the fibrous carb to neutralize the insulin effect that's going to come from the energy carb. So that might look like some lima beans right up in here, maybe some broccoli and some chicken. Cover it up and eat it and enjoy. Now remember what I mentioned, that was more like a lifestyle column. It's because we include everything on Shibboleth. We just teach you how to eat it. This is not the fastest fat burning one. This is more like taking the scenic route to your destination than getting on the interstate and moving right along, but you will get there because it's different than what you're doing, and you are still pairing that together to control insulin. So let's say that you are having a streak of weeks where you are eating 1+2s and MCT, and all of a sudden you think, I want to do something different, but I don't want to have a holiday. Just scoot over to a little approved meal with some energy carbs in it. It won't take you out of efficient fat burning, and you did not have a perfect day. You still had a perfect day. So this is great for fat burning as well. So we're going to scroll down a little bit again, and you're going to see that the new column here is category 5, fruit. Here's the important thing to know about fruit. Fruit has to be treated differently in weight loss. In weight loss, you want to make sure that you are pairing your fruit with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So in weight loss, you cannot eat fruit by itself. If you did, it would be a holiday, okay? When you get into maintenance, you can have a serving of fruit by itself as a snack, but that's a maintenance thing, okay? But in weight loss, you want to make sure that you combine your fruit with your category 1 lean protein and your category 2 fibrous carb. So you could put all of these things together, one thing from this list, one thing from this list, and one thing from this list, doctor it up with some condiments, and you'll have a great fat burning meal. Do you guys have any questions about that? And obviously, this is just simple, but we want to make sure that you understand how to combine foods and why it's so important. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to put your protein plus fat with your energy carbs, your fruit, or your superfoods, because the energy carbs and the fruit, of course, bring more of an insulin release. You don't want to pair that with your protein plus fat because insulin is a hormone. It's a growth hormone, and the specific type of growth hormone that it is a fat storage hormone. So you want to make sure that you are not pairing your protein plus fat, which is something with fat lipids in it, with something that's going to bring more of an insulin release. And I did mention a category 6 superfood, because remember, superfoods have all the macronutrients in them. So they have a little bit more carbs in them than your fibrous carbs and obviously your your protein and your shellfish. So I hope that makes sense. Also, at a restaurant, make sure that you consider all meat a category 4 at a restaurant because it'll keep you safe. Even if you were going to order a piece of chicken thinking it's a lean protein, you don't know what oil they cooked it in. Therefore, they cooked it in a fat that you're not sure of. So to keep yourself safe, that would mean that you consider that a 4. You would know what to order with that, a category 2 at a restaurant. You want to do a fibers carb with it. Okay, let's look at Facebook, see if we've got any questions. Oops. All right, we've got, hey, Belinda, and Nicole, and Judy, and Billy, and Brenda, and Kim, and Amber, Patsy, and Monica. Awesome. Monica wants to know where she finds this chart. Monica, are you in the new member fast track group? Because if you are, this chart is about to be posted in the new member fast track group. So if you're not in that group, just get in this group and you can find this chart. Okay, we're going to look at some additional items. So I did say earlier that less bread is best. Travis wouldn't even have it on the program if he didn't have to, but he also knows that in order to get us to where we need to be, he needs to create a program that is practical, sustainable, and fun, and most people are just not willing to give up bread for the rest of their life, and so we have to make sure that we're using the right breads. This one isn't on here, but my favorite bread is the high protein brown bread, the Shibboleth high protein brown bread that can be bought at either one of our stores or bought online. That is my favorite bread. It is a category 1 lean protein and a fibers carb bread. It is amazing. So I would buy some of that. So if you're taking notes and want to write down what I would buy from the store, I would get the Zero Drag MCT oil, and I would get some Shibboleth high protein brown bread for sure. So some of the other category 2 breads are the La Tortilla Factory 50 calorie tortilla, the Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, the Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Bran Crisp bread. Buy some of that from the store too. I like the pumpkin seed and sunflower seed ones best. There's also a raisin and honey. I don't like raisins, so I don't do that one, but it's really, really, really popular. And then we also have just the regular flavor. That Bran Crisp bread is so good for you. It is the best of the fibers carbs. It's kind of dry like a cracker, so you'll want to keep that in mind, but it's so good. And then we have Healthy Life hot dog buns, and then the Thomas Light 100 calorie English muffins. I found out that I actually don't even need to eat a whole English muffin. I just have half of one and eat my breakfast food. If I put some cheese and some eggs on there, I just have it like an open face sandwich. Oh, good. Belinda, what did you try today? I missed it. I didn't see when you started typing, but she tried something today and she loved it. That is awesome. So let's have a look at our sweeteners too. So some of the sweeteners that you can use are stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, and xylitol. And that's just a short little list. Now you might be saying, I don't really want to do a program that allows Splenda. Here's the thing, and here's what I love about Shibboleth. Shibboleth meets every single person where they are on their journey. This is not a program that pigeonholes people into doing exactly what that program says. Yes, you have to follow our rules, but the rules are so workable. I mean, it's not hard to drink your water and journal. You're combining foods in a way that control insulin, but you're only eating the foods that you like. You're portion controlling and you're eating on right timing. This is not hard to do. So let's say there's somebody that doesn't mind having Splenda. They can have it. It's no big deal. If you want to have Hormel turkey spam, we can show you how to do it. And I love that I can take a person who will only eat grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or I can take a person who will eat Hormel turkey spam and teach them how to lose weight by doing this program. So, but everybody kind of comes into a program with prior knowledge. I would say that if you have prior knowledge of you don't want to do Splenda, then you don't do it. If you come in with prior knowledge of I only buy this kind of meat or vegetables, I only buy organic, then please, please keep doing that, okay? But in some of these areas, you kind of have to forget certain things that you knew before or thought you knew about nutrition and start fresh. So there was always me trying to maintain a lower weight, but I really wasn't that good at it. I just forgot everything that I knew about nutrition before and embraced this program, and 50 pounds dropped off my body like that. And I've been maintaining that since last September. So if you want to lose weight, you might just have to forget what you thought you knew and start learning this and do it. My favorite one of those sweeteners is xylitol. That's what I use to sweeten my hot tea and other things like that. Approved beverages, water, obviously, 0-calorie beverages of any type, unsweet or approved tea, coffee, but only with approved sweeteners. Now, you want to make sure you get in at least 64 ounces of water. That is like 4 of these regular water bottles in a day. Your goal is a gallon. I'm telling you, if you are working hard on getting the gallon in, your mind will not start thinking about food because your tummy is going to be too full of water and it's going to be satisfied. Also, water is important because a dehydrated body cannot easily give up fat or waste, and we need both of those things to be moving out. So a dehydrated body is going to try to hang on to fat and waste. So knowing that, make sure you get your water in. We can also have some cheese. You can use it as a condiment portion, or if you're using it as a lean protein, you could use more than the 50 calories. But some of the options are fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, Cabot extra light fat-free cheese, Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, and Lifetime fat-free cheese. Travis's favorite is the Lifetime fat-free cheese, and I have only found that online. So just go to Lifetime Cheese and buy it from there. Okay, and then my favorite cheeses out of that list are the Borden fat-free singles. I don't know what they do to that, but it is so good. It melts well, it tastes good. I just think it's better than the other singles. So I like the Borden fat-free cheese. And then the Cabot extra light cheese, I like it because that gives me a little block cheese. And what I do is I take the block, I cut it into 50-calorie increments, and then I'll have those in a little container. And when I want to have myself a fibrous carb salad with maybe some whole eggs on it and some other things, I will do a little shred that block cheese up and have that cheese on there, and it's so yummy. Belinda said that she had the high fiber bread. Yes. Oh, good. I'm glad you loved it. It is so good. It is absolutely delicious. So then you've got your lean protein, your milks. You can do 8 up to 16 ounces. If you're doing it as part of a meal, as a meal component, you would do about 8 ounces. But if you're doing it as a meal on its own, you could go up to 16 ounces. So the milks are fat-free Fairlife milk, Kroger Carbmaster milk, hemp milk. Now, a lot of people then ask about almond milk. Almond milk, it works in certain areas in certain ways. You want to look that up in the food library, but it doesn't have the protein that these milks have. And the reason that we have these milks in here is because the protein amount. A lot of times milk goes with a cereal. Well, cereals are a little bit starchier. You need a high protein milk to offset the starchiness of a cereal, even an approved cereal, okay? So that's why that is listed there. The Kroger Carbmaster milk obviously can only be found at Kroger. If you don't have one near you, you're going to want to go for the fat-free Fairlife milk. But if you do have a Kroger near you, they've got the regular flavor, the vanilla flavor, and the chocolate flavor. And they are all so, so good. Now let's come down here and let's look at some breadings and flours. So you can lightly bread maybe chicken or maybe some okra. You can lightly bread those things and give it some extra flavor, extra texture. Some of the things that we suggest that you use are coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, and almond flour. So those are some good things to use. If you're placing an order at the Shibboleth store, get the Carb Quick flour, okay? Because you're gonna wanna make possibly the 4-ingredient biscuits with that, the 2-ingredient bagels with that. You can lightly bread with it. You can make the garlic parmesan, not the garlic cheddar biscuits. I've even made pancakes with it and all kinds of stuff. But when you buy the Carb Quick, don't use the recipes that are on the box. Make sure you use a recipe from our recipe library. Now, the reason I'm telling you to place this order with Shibboleth is this. The things I'm talking about, these aren't easily found in your regular grocery store. Everything that you need can be found at your regular grocery store, but that's not to say that you won't hear about some specialty products that just make our life easier and that we've found that work great. And we as a store want to be helpful to you in this journey, so therefore we carry those harder to find specialty items. But Carb Quick is something I would buy. And then you could have some cereals. Now there's quite a few cereals on the program, but not all of them are good for your beginning weight loss. So these are the ones that are listed are the best for beginning weight loss. Cereals, you can have up to 1 cup up to 1.5 cups. Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereals, those are bought at the Shibboleth store too. And I'll tell you what, the French vanilla flavor, woo, it's good. That French vanilla flavor is so delicious. And then you've got your high-low nutritious living. Kashi can obviously be bought at any grocery store. I've not ever looked to find high-low anywhere, so I don't know where it's found. You would just have to search for that. I'm not going to reread those condiments because we've already read over those others at the top. We're going to scroll down here and we are going to look at some restaurants. And I'm not going to read that whole list either, but I'm going to talk about what you want to do at a restaurant. You want to do a couple of things. First of all meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4, unless for some reason that the restaurant guide tells you that a pre-made item could be considered something else, okay? So consider all meat at a restaurant category 4. That way you know I need to order only a fibrous carb with that. So maybe you order their asparagus or their cauliflower or their broccoli. Maybe you order the side salad and only use an approved dressing. So that type of thing. So that's going to keep you safe by considering all meat at a restaurant a category 4. Now, one of my suggestions for anybody that eats out regularly is to go ahead and look at the restaurant guide at the restaurants that you go to regularly and see if what you like to order at that restaurant is already on the list. If it is on the list, make sure that you open up the full description, because you're going to want to read how to order it. Because sometimes you need to order your item but then eat it on your own tortilla, or don't eat it on a tortilla at all, or don't eat it on some bread at all, or use your own bread. So you're going to want to know those things because you're going to want to be able to take your survival kit with you. You want to make sure that you take those things with you. But let's look over just a few. Obviously, Chick-fil-A is a very popular place, and this is what I tell everybody. If you've had a perfect breakfast and a perfect lunch, but you get stressed out when it comes to dinner because you've picked up your kids and you're just fighting traffic and all kinds of things, whatever you do, do not give up your perfect day. Just go through Chick-fil-A. Oh, that rhymed. Don't give up your perfect day. Just go through Chick-fil-A. But if you want to do 8 to 12 grilled nuggets, you could do that. Do it with a side salad. If you're like me and you're willing to give up 4 nuggets and get those 8 fried nuggets, then you can. But you can only do 8 of the fried nuggets. You can order it with a side salad. I go in and I'll either order the 8 nuggets with a side salad instead of fries. I get a diet lemonade as my drink. Now, that diet lemonade at Chick-fil-A is considered to be your extra, because that diet lemonade at Chick-fil-A is not calorie free. Even though it is diet, it is not 0 calorie. So you consider that your extra. So all that means to you is on the day that you eat at Chick-fil-A, if you choose to have a diet lemonade with it, you just don't have another extra during that day. That is your extra. Okay. I personally like to go into Chick-fil-A and I order the Chick-fil-A filet, the fried one. I order my side salad and then I eat the chicken with my side salad. The reason I do that is because sometimes I find that the filet is just juicier than sometimes the nuggets. Now, I'll switch that up and everything. But the fried filet works at Chick-fil-A, the spicy one works at Chick-fil-A, and obviously the grilled one works at Chick-fil-A. Also, the egg white grill works at Chick-fil-A. And if you want to check out the WOW challenges, there is a Kim's Egg White Grill WOW challenge that includes 2 meals at Chick-fil-A for the day. At a Mexican restaurant, you could do a bowl of chicken soup, no rice. You could eat the 3 soft chicken tacos with your own tortilla. At McDonald's, you can have a quarter pounder on your own bread. This next one is a super, super popular one. Wendy's small chili over a side salad. Now, it's not all chili. So you can't just go to any restaurant and order their chili. Not all chili works. But the Wendy's chili, the way that they make it, they put it all together, it's considered a super food because it has the right combinations in it. And you would just put that over a side salad. That is a super popular one. And then obviously you can do all those others that are listed. But instead of reading those over to you, what I would kind of say is to give you a little example is to say, go into the restaurant guide to the restaurants that you like and look for those things and then open them up and read them. Now, oh, Michelle Harper just said that High-Low is found at Ingles. So if somebody wants that High-Low cereal, you can find that at Ingles. While I'm on here, please let me know if you have any questions. Let's see who's on here. We had Jason on here for a minute, and Maggie and Alice. Hey, Alice. And Carolyn and Greta and Joy. Hello. So thank y'all all for watching. And I would absolutely, if you are not a member of Shibboleth, I would love for you to join. It is only $50 for the whole year, And you get all of the resources that we have to offer, So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to hop off of here. But if you're a Shibboleth member and you are in the new member Fast Track group, you can find this screen right here in there in just a few minutes. I hope y'all have had a great time. I hope you've learned something. And we're going to hop off. But if you're in that new member Fast Track group, make sure that you look for the post every single day. It's a video of me showing you how to utilize the website. And it's also a video of with a little assignment so that you can dig in and get this program under your belt. You're welcome, Michelle. You're welcome. Y'all have a great night. And if you happen to be in Kennesaw, please come visit us at the Shibby Shop or the Shibboleth store, whatever you prefer to call it. And Monday through Friday, 11 to 7, and on Saturday from 10 to 2. It is inside the desktop co-working space at the corner of Highway 41 and Giles Road. Good night, Jane, and good night, Belinda. Have a great night. Thank you for joining me so much. I appreciate it. Bye.